Mountain, Island, Lightning Bolt, Spell Pierce, Switchblade, Stab Wound, Red Mage, Blue Mage. Hey!
Hi.
Have you done your vocal warm-ups?
Thank you.
Made me mush my M&Ms.
What? I don't do vocal warm-ups. My voice is always perfect.
Me mamo, me mamo.
Cut that.
As soon as I don't do vocal warm-ups. All right, let's talk.
Shut up.
Everybody, welcome to. Hi. All right, take two. Hey, hi everybody. Fuck. All right, take three.
All right.
Okay.
Come on now, get it together.
Hi everybody. This is Red Mage, Blue Mage. I'm Kenny and I play blue.
And I'm Amber and I play red.
And today our theme is there is no theme. This is just random stuff that I wanted to talk about because I prepared the show.
Oh.
And you didn't.
I prepared, but I did not prepare the show. I prepared.
I see some preparation here that I'm none too happy about.
No, shut up. It's great.
All right. So are there any announcements that you would like to make before we get started?
Like what?
I don't know. Something amazing about Magic that you wanted to share with everybody?
There's those leggings that just came out, or a preview. What? Did you not see that?
No, show me. Should I just look up Magic leggings?
Magic the Gathering leggings. They're like Planeswalkers leggings.
Leggings. Do they have Magic the Gathering jeggings?
No.
One day ago, it seems like the winner.
Oops.
Magic the Gathering is bringing fandom leggings back into style. Oh, I see. Ooh, look at that Jace booty, though.
No. I personally think they're pretty ugly, and I wouldn't want them. Now, if they were like doing like a pattern of like the symbols over and over again and other things like that, I would be into them, but I'm not a fan of this kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'll bookmark that for later, maybe.
So you could buy some leggings for yourself or just to look at people wearing leggings?
The meme, stupid, sexy Jace. I like it. Stupid, sexy Jace.
Anyway.
Yeah,
so.
Anyway. All right. Well, that's interesting Magic announcement news.
Yeah.
My announcement news, this is an exclusive for me. It's not exclusive for me. Arena's going to come to Mac.
Oh, yeah. I saw that, too. Yep. I'm excited about that.
I sent it to you, and then you didn't say anything about it.
Did I not?
No.
I thought I did. I just talked to so many people.
I hear bells. I hear bells going off right now.
No.
They're going crazy.
If anybody knows me, I only talk to like 3 people. And so it's just a matter of I saw it and probably got distracted by something else on the internet and forgot to say. And then maybe I just got distracted by the exact same thing that you sent me. And I got too excited. And then I just forgot to talk to you about it.
You know what?
I
That's
just
okay.
keep digging a hole for myself.
I guess this could be excused though because we have to in our daily lives chatting with each other online or whatever. We start talking about Magic and it's like, well, no,
Don't talk about Magic.
Save it for the show.
Save it for the show. Yeah, it's kind of ruined our just casual Magic talking.
And our relationship, really.
Honestly, it's
like our
kind of
friendship
destroying
what
we
like
once had.
Which was nothing to write home about to begin with.
But the show must go on.
Yes, indeed. All right, so it's time to pick a card. You son of a bitch. Oh, that
perfect
garage.
timing. Take a drink of this.
Yeah, now's the time. Have some unsweetened tea. My new beverage of choice.
Are you serious? Gross.
Trying to cut back on
all those
caffeine and
bangin' rangins,
fake,
whatever they are called.
Trying to cut back on caffeine and fake. So we're talking about energy drinks, and this is a random segue.
Okay.
Are we talking about this?
Sure, why not?
All right, so
I mean energy, right? You kind of it's like the manna for humans. Caffeine.
Nice.
I tied it back to Magic, you see?
I do. So yeah, I've been drinking for a while now, 0-calorie energy drinks, and I recently made the switch from Zero Monster to this new drink called Reign, like a king or queen might reign over.
Yeah.
And it just has so much caffeine. Like a ridiculous amount.
I
of
know.
caffeine.
I drank a third of it, and I thought my head was going to explode. Also,
I
this
feel
is not
nothing.
a product. This is not a product placement. We are not endorsed. This is not an ad. And also, we're talking about how bad the product is. So. No,
Well,
it's not bad. It's just a lot.
I love it. I love it.
Ugh.
That's the problem, though. I feel like I don't really feel anything ever anymore, and so I think it might be the caffeine. So I'm trying to cut back. So I'm drinking unsweetened tea now, seeing how
That's
that goes.
why you're so tired, Kenny.
Yeah, probably. Honestly,
For the last 2 days, I don't know why I'm so tired. I don't know why I'm so tired. I've stopped drinking 5 Reigns a day. There's
That's
your
not-
answer.
nuh-uh. No, not that much.
Anyway.
But yes, I have stopped drinking like grams of caffeine a day. All right, so pick a card, a magic podcast.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Let's get to
So
it.
I just picked a pick a card that I've had on my mind for a while, and there just hasn't been a good place to put it. So just in this random episode, I wanted
garbage
This is-
salad.
this is a great one. This is your favorite red and blue cards. So these cards have to be exactly red and blue. They can't have any other colors in them. They must
Yes.
be red and blue.
That's fine.
So the top 3. Since I picked the topic, you get to go first.
Sure.
And just so you guys know what I'm looking at with this, our notes here.
Come on. Don't talk.
Amber's
Stop
side
it.
says 3, 2, note to me, L and RT, 1, runner up, second runner up.
Stop.
Okay.
First off, I want to clarify something. I wasn't calling this topic garbage. I was talking about this. The whole theme is like
yeah,
a
yeah,
garbage salad. Okay, just put the bell away.
Much better.
God.
I'm
Okay.
not saying the topics are garbage. The whole show is.
No, stop it. All right. We would talk about these goddamn cards or whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll go second runner up first.
Okay.
Which I picked Goblin Flectomancer because I like the flavor text. Goblin Flectomancer costs blue, red, red. It's a Goblin Wizard. Sacrifice Goblin Flectomancer. You may change the targets of target instant or sorcery spell, which is funny for just kill it and redirect. And so the flavor text is rerouting magic through a goblin's brain is the surest way to throw it wildly off course. And I obviously, for reasons, love that. So
Yes.
runner up. Not gonna talk about it anymore.
Okay.
Other runner up. First runner up. So you have to see as soon as you lay your eyes on it, you know why I chose it. It's Inside Out. It costs 1 blue or a red. It's instant. Switch target creature's power or toughness until end of turn. Draw a card. Satan's temperament didn't take well to Puka's magic, nor did his face. And the art is fucking hilarious. It's just like this elf with horns whose face is being like pushed. Like there's some
Pushed in
face, and it's just funny looking. So look that up. Inside Out. It's freaking hilarious. Okay.
Good movie too.
Yes. Also a good movie. Okay, so my first one. So so red and blue.
Wait, so you're saying first one? Are we looking at number 3 or are we looking at number 1?
Number 3. Oh, did I do it backwards again?
I don't know. You tell me. Which one is your third favorite? If number 1 is your third favorite, I'm going to scream.
No, it's not my third favorite. Number 3. Let's look at
Okay.
number 3. God, I don't like how this works. This is too hard. This is too hard for my brain.
It's a countdown. It's not that confusing.
Yes, it is. I struggle with this every time. I'm having such a hard time.
Let's talk about your top 3. My number 1 is my least favorite.
No, it's just how you order them in the document. You go 3, 2, 1, and my mind goes, oh, okay, bottom to top. Top 1 is best, but it's number 3 as well. Oh my god.
Okay. Let's talk about this.
I'm crying.
Oh, you picked Willem Dafoe as your number 3.
Hold on. So first off, talking about red blue, I really had a hard time picking cards in general just because they're so good. All of them are chaotic. All of them are ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're everything I really love. I mean, except for the parts where it's like more blue, where you're like scrying and like drawing card stuff. But whatever.
Is it as a guild, is there really actually a great union between red and blue.
Yeah.
And what's so funny?
Nothing.
Because they found such a great middle ground of like the mad scientist,
Yes.
which is just so much fun.
Yes, it is. So anyway, just throwing that out there right now, I had a hard time picking just because. And so really my approach was, if I was drafting cards, what would I choose? What would I pick? What would I make decks out of? So anyway, so my third pick, the bottom of 3 of the
Your number
order.
3 card. You're trying to make it sound more confusing.
If people could see how you listed out in the document, they would understand my... No, it's probably not true. Anyway, so my number 3 card is Goblin Test Pilot, which costs 1 blue and a red. Goblin Wizard. It has flying. It's a 0/2 creature, and its tap...
Fun.
Goblin Test Pilot does 2 damage to target creature or player chosen at random.
Your favorite words.
Yes. So I think it's funny that you just tap it to attack. And it can't attack itself, but it's just a tap ability is just do damage, which
Right.
is fun. And it's flying.
Yep. Which is the flying part is really funny.
It
because
is.
It doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, and also it's like the only time I could see like it being useful, the flying, is if you're buffing it. But why would you buff it to attack? Because then if you just tap it, you could do damage without having to worry about blockers. So
Yeah.
I guess it's just like the chose at random thing. Whereas like if there's no creature on the board and you choose I don't know how you would choose at random. Just roll a die or flip a coin.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to roll dice because every creature
Yeah.
and player counts as
Yes.
something that it might hit.
And I guess if there's no creature on the board, like you would have to flip a coin, I guess.
If there was no creatures on the board, it's kind of bad news because if it does it, then it's 2/3 chance to hit itself or you.
Yeah, exactly. Which is hilarious to me. So anyway, that was my number 3 card.
Do you like the flavor text on
Yes,
this one?
I also do too. I'll let you read it because I'm tired of talking.
All pilots and prototypes destroyed. Extensive collateral damage inflicted. Conclusion, flawless design.
So good. So good. I love it.
And it is just a green goblin.
Yes.
Okay. My number 3. See, that's so hard?
Shh. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, you're being mean. Yeah, my number 3 is just a classic red-blue card, and this is just my, like, value nod. It's Electrolyze. 1 blue and a red, an instant. Electrolyze deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 target creatures and or players. And then, draw a card. So this is like just the classic red-blue shit. Just do damage to things and draw a card. It's just nasty value any way you slice it. And then, of course, the dream with Electrolyze is your opponent has 2 creatures with 1 toughness.
Yeah.
And then you get 2 creatures, you draw a card, you get 3 for 1. That
is
juicy. You just wreck an aggro player. And that's what red-blue is all about, baby. That's what I like.
What? Wrecking?
Wrecking aggro players.
But wrecking's such a red thing.
No. Wrecking is for blue. Blue only. That's my number 3. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
They get juicier from here.
Okay. All right. 2. For me. My number 2.
Okay.
I chose Master the Way. Which is
Interesting.
it's expensive at 3 blue and a red. It's a sorcery. Draw a card. Master the Way deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of cards in your hand. So I was looking at this and I was thinking, when I was looking through all the cards, I was thinking of things like in my commander deck right now, which I'm thinking about building another commander deck. And if I did, I'd probably do a red-blue themed one. We'll see because it's just nuts. And for me, this is one of those cards where it's like all sorts of things I think I have lots of stuff in my deck right now that there's no maximum hand size.
Yeah.
And so immediately I'm like, oh my God, can I somehow make a deck centered around doing damage via,
Based on hand size.
based on hand size. And that's it. That's my whole concept. And I was like, if I can make a deck that way, I would fucking do it. And my note that I made to myself was just Reliquary Tower, which is the land I have. And there's other things I have too that does.
Yeah, there are other things that
stuff.
give you no maximum hand size.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's also for everybody, which is not necessarily great, but it would be fine because this is specifically. I just think it's another one of those cards where it's like, it makes me want to build something themed off of something to see if it can happen.
Right. Just
And
to
that's
see
why I like
that
it.
ridiculous thing where you draw 30 cards and you do 30 damage to somebody.
Yes. Oh my god. Anyway, the art's also very pretty.
It is, yeah. I was a big fan of, because this is a Jeskai card from Cons of Tarkir, and I was always a big fan of their genies in this set, because they're not traditional fantasy genies grant you wishes. They're like monks and observance of martial arts.
Because it's like the central figure who has got red flaming hot hands is making an arc, and a flame is falling behind this arc because his one hand has flame in it. And as he's doing that, there's an arch that has hanging, obviously, poses for some sort of martial art, and they're catching fire, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Those are good representations of cards in hand as well.
Yes.
Very cool.
I like that
Good
one a
choice.
lot.
That's like Electrolyze, but cooler.
Thanks.
You're
All
welcome.
right. You're number 2.
Yeah, I think you'll like this one better as a choice. So my number 2 is Ethereum Horn Sorcerer, which is has never been made or printed in a standard legal set. This was made specifically for, I think, a commander set maybe, or maybe a plane chase set. I don't know. But anyway, this is 4 blue-red for an artifact creature, a Minotaur Wizard. It is a 3/6 creature. It has 1 blue-red, return Ethereum Horn Sorcerer to its owner's hand, and it has Cascade, which means when you cast it, you flip cards from the top until you reveal something that costs less than this, and you get to play it for free. So the obvious self-combo it has is you Cascade, you bounce it back to your hand, you play it again, you Cascade again. I think this was originally printed in a plane chase set because they had a few Cascade. Cascade is like a really broken mechanic. And since they printed it the first time, the only other place they put it is in like supplements like this that don't get printed in standard because it's just too strong. Like free spells is just, it's too much. So it was cool to see Cascade come back. And it was also cool because this card comes from the world of Alara, where the whole idea was it existed in these different shards where only 3 colors of magic existed. And that storyline ended with the shards coming back together and the mana was like intermingling again. And so they used some of these cards to show effects from one side of Alara dipping over into another side. So you've got this colored artifact creature, which is Esper, but it's got red in the mana. I don't know. It's just cool and chaotic, and it's a Minotaur Wizard with Ethereum
And
horns.
he's kind of like, his coloring is split. He's white and red. And he's got these ridiculous artifact horns. Remind me of what's the faces? Bring my mind.
Tezzeret?
Is that the right people?
I
The
don't
people
know.
who are like swapping out their body parts, becoming artifacts.
The Esper people?
Is that true?
Yeah.
I think my brain just broke. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this probably exists in a few different places. Are you thinking of something from Magic?
I'm thinking of something where specifically I'm talking about his horns that look much like the art choice card that you picked at the beginning when we first started.
Master Transmuter.
Yes.
Yeah, so those people are the Esper people. And so this is a Minotaur that's wandered into Esper and is starting to take on the traits of Esper.
That's cool. Okay. I was like, what? Okay. Now I'm okay. Now my brain is back. Yay.
Yeah. So there's some cool stuff going on. And you can see in the background those like bisected symmetrical clouds that were in the art for Master Transmuter as well. Mm-hmm. So the art's doing its job. It reminded you of the right thing.
Right. Correct. Cool.
Okay.
All right. My actual number 1.
She sounds so
It's just a funny.
beleaguered.
Well, I've had to use my brain to think about Cascade is, and that was difficult. There was like 4 lines of text that I read there. So anyway,
Wow.
my number 1 pick is Stitch in Time,
Good choice.
which is which costs 1 and red and blue. It's a sorcerer card. Flip a coin. If you win the flip, take an extra turn after this one. I like when things are like flip a coin or,
Random
shit. Tear up your card. That kind of crap. I would love to have 4 of these and just be like, it'd just be a game for me. It really is. Like, how many times will I get to have an extra turn? And so I really like this.
So you're a big fan of like the cards.
Yes.
It's all about rolling dice and flipping shit.
Yes. Those are made with my player type in mind, obviously.
It'd be cool. I guess it's never going to happen, but it'd be cool to get. I would love if they took some of the unset mentalities and made an actual like set, like a standard set. It wouldn't have to be as ridiculous. It wouldn't have to be as ridiculous. Like, they could tone it down a little bit. But, I mean, they've done the thing where they've taken cards that were uncards and brought their ideas into real black border magic. Like, there's this enchantment called the Cheese Stands Alone. It showed this cheese in a superhero costume standing alone with arms akimbo. And the way it worked is, at the beginning of your turn, if the cheese stands alone is the only permanent you control, you win the game. And
That's fun.
Eventually, they actually printed that card in black border. It was called Barren Glory, but it was functionally exactly the same card. And so, I mean, I think they tend to use the unsets as kind of like testing grounds for really wild shit, and sometimes it works.
Cool.
But I wouldn't mind seeing a set that's a little bit more dice rolly and
yeah. Pie tokens.
Yeah.
All right, that was mine.
Okay. My number 1 choice is Dak Faden. He is a planeswalker. He is 1 blue-red. He has 3 loyalty. His +1 is target player draws 2 cards, then discards 2 cards. His -2 is gain control of target artifact. And his -6 never gets used. You get an emblem with whenever you cast a spell that targets 1 or more permanents, gain control of those permanents. So his whole deal is he is the greatest thief in the multiverse. And I like that he's sort of... I like the balance that they struck where he is a good, very good 3-mana planeswalker. And also manages to be really thematic. Like, all 3 of his abilities are thiefy. His plus, where you draw 2 and discard 2, that's called looting. So that's appropriate. Gain control of target artifact. Straight up Indiana Jones. And then the -6, whenever you target something with that emblem, you gain control of those permanents. And that comes together to a nice cohesive package that also plays well. Because sometimes it happens that they make a top-down design and it winds up not actually making a compelling Magic card. It's like, it's flavorful, but it doesn't really do anything that you want it to. And this is just a great... I love drafting this card in Cube. I love playing with this card. Dak is great. Love Dak. Why are you shaking your head?
Nothing. Nothing. I didn't say nothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, can't you hear? Nothing.
Your body language says something else.
No one else can see it. They just hear nothing.
Oh, picture taken.
No! How dare? How dare you?
You started the picture taking business.
So yeah. Okay.
Wow, those Magic cards, huh?
Those are
all right.
Those are some good Magic cards.
Speaking of Magic cards, Construction Zone.
Construction Zone. It's a bone zone. Put your helmet on, the shit is OSHA. Bust out your lotion, son, but keep your clothes on. This shit is wholesome.
Sheep shop. I forgot that was the noise we made that one time.
The name of the servos. The sound of
Sheep
the servos
shop.
of the
Sheep
construction
shop.
zone.
Sheep shop. Sheep shop.
Okay, So, continuing our theme from the last construction zone, where we weren't actually constructing a deck, we are also not actually constructing a deck today. And also continuing the theme of just random stuff I wanted to talk about anyway.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a little bit of brainstorming with you about trying to improve something. So,
And you invited me?
yeah, I mean, why not?
Jeez.
You're a game designer.
No, I'm not.
So the reason it matters that you're a game designer is at last Roll Plus Con. This applies to my experience specifically, but I think it can be more generally applied as well. But anyway, Roll Plus Con. I ran that game of Commander Plane Chase. It was you and me and Echo and some other people.
Chris,
JB, Dave.
That was six of us.
Yes, it was a table of 6 by design. Big Commander game, Plane Chase included. It was really fun.
It was fun.
But there were some things that I'm going to be running again and that I would like to improve upon, if possible.
Can I talk? Or
Yeah,
do you have a
absolutely.
structure? Do you have a structure
No.
you want to go by?
No.
Okay.
I was actually just going to open up and say,
What's our experience?
Yeah,
So my experience was, talking about commander decks in general. I'm not sure if it was a professor video. I think it was a professor video from Tolarian Community College, where talking about like the different types of commander decks, and you usually have jank, and then you have that are usually just like thematic, or like there's something that you just want to do, like just silly or funny or whatever, right?
I know the video you're talking about. It wasn't the professor, but their example was the deck where no one is standing up. All the cards have to have people sitting down.
Yes.
That was their example of the jank deck.
It wasn't the professor. It was another person's video. I can't remember, but it was specifically about the different types of commander and how to go about building a commander deck. And I know, like for sure, Dave just had a jank deck. Like it was just his old ass magic cards from like
His
20,
sad magic cards.
20 years ago, and he just like his commander was. At first was Nebuchadnezzar.
Right.
And literally his deck was just kind of annoying, just making people discard stuff.
Right.
Or
No real total plan that would come together.
Yes.
Just, I want to make people discard as much as I can.
And that's fine. And I know he tweaked it a little bit before the game at Roll Plus, but then you have people like Chris who are building optimized. There is
Synergy
something
decks.
that's going to happen they're going to pop off, and it's just going to be like, okay, just let us know when you're done.
Right.
kind of deck.
Yeah. You're playing your own game now. Let us play our game.
Right. When you're done making elves and sacrificing elves to trees, and your trees are all now have the huge butts, whatever is going on over there, this tree elf butt orgy. We'll come back when your guys are done. Is that a no, tree butt elf orgy?
Yeah. I'm typing up name of show right now.
Okay, so you kind of have, and then there's people in between like me who are like, oh, I kind of want to make a synergy thing, but I just like random chaos too. Like I just have a theme that's it's kind of optimized, but it's not like a combo. Like there's a thing that's going to happen that's going to make things go crazy.
Right.
So
And like the Nicol Bolas commander deck that I contemplated on this show previously, I landed on. I want it to be more just thematic,
Right.
and less like where it's not like not competitive at all, but it's not hell bent on some single strategy line that it's trying to fall down.
Yes. So anyway, I think one of the big things I noticed with that experience, that 6-person commander game, was that we had such a wide gamut. You had Dave, who like I was so easy to pick off. Like, sorry, Dave, if you ever listened to this episode, it was just you were just an easy target a lot of the time, especially when people were beating up on you. And then it's just like I knew I had the spell. I think it was Starstorm or something ridiculous.
Banefire.
Banefire, and I just killed him 14 damage or whatever.
Right.
And you're out of the game. And then you go around, you have the other people who have like semi-optimized, like me and Echo, and then you, and then you have 2 other players who are waiting for their stuff to like happen.
Right.
And
Or who are actively popping off during the game.
yes. and or so well built up you can't really touch them.
Yeah, they're just sitting there untouchable the entire game.
Yeah. Yes.
Just playing with you like a cat playing with a mouse.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm pretty sure that's what ended up happening was
Oh, definitely.
They had made a truce with each other.
Right.
Table politics. And it was like they were waiting for certain stuff to happen, and it was because he had prizes too, and they're like, well, we'll just like make a draw, and we'll draw out the prize. We'll be Amber first. We'll gang up on Amber, get her out of the game.
By the way.
Yeah,
I was already out of the game.
Yes, you went after Dave, so it was like Dave, then you, and then it was 4 of us, and the last 3 all wanted certain prizes and decided we'll just kill Amber and then we'll call truce. Fuck that. It was awful, but like not only that, but it was also just because it took so much time, and it was because at one point in time Chris's deck did pop off, and it was like, oh, okay, we're gonna wait for 10 minutes for this to resolve.
Right.
So that's my experience. That's my memory of that experience at Roll Plus with those commanders. I think it was I think because of the different ranges of the types of decks, didn't help the time, because we only had like 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
To play a 6-player commander game, and then it was.
It's doable, but like the problem with these kind of games is they can't go on much longer than that. Yes. So this is definitely the thing that was weighing the most on my mind as far as like a play experience thing was time, right?
Yeah.
And you're actually listing a factor that I hadn't considered as being part of why it might take a long time, which is the range of decks that are a part of this. But that was one of my big concerns. That is one of my big concerns with making this better for next time is I want some sort of mechanism, whether it be in game or outside of the game, to move things along. Mm-hmm. And so I'm trying to think of like for example, game mechanics that might encourage people to take actions to end the game. Because another inherent problem with Commander that makes the games go on is people are afraid to do anything.
Yeah.
Because like if you attack, you're opening yourself up to 5 other people potentially attacking you back.
Right.
And people build up these pillow forts that, okay, let's just all not attack each other. And it's this play pattern where people build up and build up and build up, and then there's a board wipe, it resets, and people build up and they build up, and it just happens over and over, and progress isn't made. You know, it took a long time before Dave went out, and then it was a long time before, well, a shorter time, I guess, before I went out, and then there's no sign of really an end in sight when the truce was called either.
Yeah, there wasn't.
So, can I tell you one thing that I've thought of?
Yeah, go
and
for
see
it.
what you think about it. So I'm thinking about doing something like this. I'm thinking about a mechanic where basically there's some clock in game that is pushing people to take action, or else you're going to lose anyway. So I was thinking about having pandemic style, some of the planes in the plane chase deck be these phenomenon that would start a clock, basically.
Yeah.
So the one that I have drafted up right now is basically it's called Breach the Void. When you get it, it stays out in play. There's no removing it. And at the beginning of your turn, you roll a d6, and there's some chance that if you get a 1 or a 2, let's say, you get a corruption counter. If you get up to 10 corruption counters, you lose the game. So there's a random chance that you will pick up these corruption counters, and eventually you will lose the game. So once you get to that plane, a clock has started. And then hopefully that will push people to take action. And then I was also thinking further down in the plane chase deck, there would be a couple other phenomenon that would tick the clock up faster. So as the game goes on, that accelerates. So now instead of picking up 1 poison or 1 corruption counter when you do that, you're picking up 2 or 3. And my hope, and you can tell me what you think of this plan, my hope is that when you see these counters stacking up, you're like, I need to do something. I can't sit around and wait anymore. And even if you don't think that, the game will end.
Yeah, I don't know. I think because of the randomness of the plane chase, like just having it, like there's what? You just putting your finger up.
So the one thing I should add here is that these phenomena are not just going to be completely random where you're going to run into them.
Oh, okay.
They're going to be seeded. So like the first one will not appear within the first, I don't
5.
know. Yeah, I have to playtest and figure that out, but you'll have like, X number where it doesn't appear, and then
Does it affect everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
So it stays in play at the beginning of your turn. You roll a dice. You might get a corruption counter. You might not.
Okay, so there's still a random factor to it.
Yes.
I think, Pete, you will be surprised at how willing people are to, in a game like Magic, to let the odds play out and just kind of sit and wait and see. I think what you'll end up having is you'll have the people who have, well, yeah, maybe it would be like the people who get corruption counters or whatever you want to call them, push them to act. But then, and then when they do that, then other people will respond. But I'm not sure. I think for me, it starts to feel like the game is always punishing. Getting people to act in Magic is so hard.
Yes.
In this big of a format.
It is. I share some of your same concerns. Like, what I want to avoid, I don't want it to be where it's a delicate thing I'm trying to balance here, because I want the threat of corruption counters to push you to act, but I don't want people to feel like they won or lost because of the corruption mechanic.
See, and I think if you're not careful, it's what's going to happen. I feel feels like the game is punishing me for playing it. And I don't necessarily like that. I want to punish myself or punish others.
What a quote. I don't want the game to punish me. I want to punish myself or punish others.
So I think it's an interesting approach. I think it's worth investigating. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, another thing I have to keep track of, which I don't like.
Sure.
Personally.
Well, oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
And then I'm just worrying about, like that whole, the game is punishing me, essentially.
Right. I guess I should explain why I went with these corruption counters and not damage or poison counters, which already exist in the game. Basically, I don't want a deck to be favored. The corruption mechanic should not favor anybody.
Yeah.
So the reason I didn't want it to be poison is that some decks have proliferate in them.
Yeah.
And the reason I didn't want it to be damage is some decks have life gain,
Yeah.
Some decks would just be inherently favored with something like that. I also thought about, instead of corruption counters, it would be like exile a certain number of cards from your library.
Yeah.
Same idea. And then you don't really have to track anything that way, which is kind of nice.
I mean, what's wrong with a good old egg timer?
What do you, like, just a way to say, like, the game ends at this point?
That, or just on your turn, you have to, within a time frame, to do action.
I have already purchased some sand timers. And what I think I want to do with that, because turns can get pretty long in Commander games.
Yes.
They can get pretty complex. So I thought about having it just like a punishing system, basically, where it's like the turn ends when the time runs out, or some penalty if your time runs out. But what do you think about this? Because positive reinforcement is stronger than negative, right?
Yeah.
And also, I don't want people to feel bad.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about making it so that you get some bonus if you complete your turn before a minute runs out.
Yes. I would do that. I like that better. I like that better because it's like, oh, if I don't make it in that time period, nothing negative happens to me.
Exactly.
And I can still play. But there's also a social pressure of, oops, my time's run out. I need to finish my turn. Right. But then also, if I do, kind of like a challenge for me, this is me, like, oh, I can do my turn and make a decision within this time. Also, I think it would help in general, just the nature of the table. Like, we're playing a game now. Mm-hmm. Because
yes,
especially at Roll Plus, which is a growing little mini convention that me and Josh of Geekspective are starting, and you are helping. And right now it's just invite only, and our friends that we know are friends of friends. And so when you go to sit down at a Commander game, Commander's fairly casual unless you're doing like a actual tournament with strangers or whatever, or going to shop or whatever. Mm-hmm. You tend to just want to chat and like hang out because you're playing Magic with your friends. And I think that attitude also didn't help, or that kind of frame or reference that
Yep.
frame didn't help the game either.
Yep.
So I think if we can, or if you can, because this is your thing that you run, emphasize that we are doing something, then there needs to be an outcome at
I
the
agree.
get-go.
Yep.
That would be also helpful.
Yep, I agree. And actually, that was one of my other bullet points in my notes I took after the game, which was the problem, not just of like wasting time, but it was kind of getting my goat a little bit, where somebody would be taking their turn and other people weren't paying attention,
Yes.
which is disrespectful anyway, just like any game
Yeah.
where people aren't paying attention. But it also caused a game problem where, for example, you would be taking your turn, people wouldn't be paying attention, and then you would say to someone at the table, I attack you, and they're like, what? What's going on? Who's attacking?
Yeah.
What are you attacking? So I think the sand timer solves two problems at once, where it pushes people along in their turn and gives you a focal point. And I also just like having something to pass from
Yeah.
person to person to say, it's your turn.
Right. Yeah. Marker. Yeah. I think try the sand timer first, because it's a more of a reward system, and a social like signifier.
Yes.
I would say try that over the negative
Yeah.
adding something. I think what you are doing is also a cool thing to do for just in general. Like that's a fun concept to try for Plane Chase. But I don't know if it's going to solve the problems that you're trying to solve.
Yeah, I agree. I think the timer is going to work. I still want some. I think another thing that I've considered, and you'll probably like this idea better, is to have some kind of contingency plan. Like if we get to 15 minutes before the time is up, I think I want to just announce there are 15 minutes left. Everybody gets 2 more turns or whatever.
Right.
And then it's a draw between anybody who's left in the game or something like that.
Yeah.
Some kind of contingency.
Yes. No prizes. Or
What do you mean?
secret prizes.
What do you mean no prizes?
Secret.
I think I would like to say, yeah, that you can't just agree to call a draw.
Can you just get various size boxes that are misleading in nature
Mystery prizes?
and then wrap them so they look like a golf club or a balloon or a hat, and the prize is actually inside? Because that pissed me off that everybody knew what it was, and they were like, oh, I want that one, and I want that one. All right, cool, truce. We're the top 3. All right, we're going to pick our prizes we want. We got them. We got what we wanted. Murdered Amber. She didn't get anything. We get deck box. We get a cool counter. I can't remember what the other prize was. I wanted the deck box.
Oh, it was the token dice was the other one.
Oh, whatever. I don't care about token dice.
I don't care about any of it. I'm not
Whatever.
I'm not bitter.
Anyway, so take my suggestion and wrap prizes to look like not prizes. In fact, if you make one like a hot dog, that'd be really cool too.
I think it actually would be kind of neat to have like a Secret Santa element to the prize packages.
And they open it up and it's just literally a hot dog.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody except you.
I would eat it. 100%.
Well, thanks for your helpful input.
Was it helpful?
Definitely.
Okay, good. Whew. Whew.
Absolutely it was.
Whew.
I'll probably pick your brain some more when we talk further.
Okay, good.
Off
There's not
camera,
much left of
off
it,
audio.
but you can mine in there, I suppose.
Yeah, that's right. All right, that's it. That's our
Okay.
time. That's our episode. If you want to get in touch with us, we're at RedBlueMTG on Twitter. If you want to email us, we're redmagebluemage at geekspective.com. If you want to tweet at me, Kenny, I'm at Wolfmere.
And if you want to tweet at me, I'm at Rocket Orca. Also on Twitter and everything.
Nice. So until next time, I'll be representing Counterspell.
And I've got a hot dog.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye forever.
Yay.